Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name's Becky, I'm an artist from the UK, and today we are trying Cyanotype. I got this kit for Christmas last year. It kept popping up on my various feeds and I thought I should give it a go. It's the one printing technique I've never actually tried. I was very optimistic at the beginning, but you'll see later on it was a lot more difficult than it seemed. I believe my brother got me this kit from Etsy. There's loads of different people selling various different kits and they all pretty much come with the same sort of thing. You get the 2 crystals in the bottles which you add water to. As long as they're kept separate, they'll keep for ages. The paper, the sponge, the gloves, and all the instructions. These are just various bits and bobs I found in my craft drawer, in my jewellery box. Anything I thought that would make a good impression on the paper. It doesn't all work, it's a lot of trial and error, which I found, but some of it does and it looked really good.
I'm always called it juice. What about this? Like something? How's that? I think that's close.
So each of these bottles, as I say, comes with the different crystals inside. You add water, shake them up until they dissolve, and then you mix equal parts together to form the solution. So once you have your solution, you sponge that onto the paper and let it dry. You need to do this in a low light because as soon as it hits natural light it will start to react and it changes to a really nice cyan blue. For some reason this was an unnecessary amount of struggling. You need to leave these bits to dry once you've got the solution on, so I made a mini almost blanket fort in the room my niece and nephew sleep in and let them dry in there. I used some paper that came with it, which was like a nice thick heavy watercolour paper, and I tried out a couple of pieces of canvas. So once they're dry, you put all your bits and bobs on and put them somewhere sunny. It will work in sort of normal daylight as well, but it might take a bit longer. Leave them until they change colour, wash off the solution, and then you're left with your prints.
There's a demon in the mirror who calls themselves the Ancient One, or the Morning Star. The demon gives...
I was really pleased with how the prints turned out, and it gave me a stupid amount of confidence to go on to something slightly more difficult, seeing as I didn't really know what I was doing. So I went and cut out a load of simple shapes. So I did some apples and some flowers and then messed about with them on Procreate to try and create some patterns. So here I am messing about with them. I do really like these purple ones. They turned out annoyingly a lot better than the apples, even though I spent more time on them. It's just, I just couldn't get the outcome right. You'll see later on. So yeah, I gave myself too much confidence in my abilities. So once I was happy with my patterns, I printed them onto some OHP paper. It had a little bit of texture on it, so the ink would stick rather than just plain acetate, which the ink rubbed off. For some reason, I used the most expensive I could find, rather than looking around, but I was super eager to get it done, so I just sort of went with it. It does turn out it was a lot better quality than the cheaper one I found afterwards. So here I am prepping my paper again. These bottles, I managed to do a lot with these tiny bottles, so value-wise it was good. But I will say please don't take this as a step-by-step tutorial. I obviously went wrong somewhere, because other people's results have been a lot better than mine. So I suggest other videos for that. But I did enjoy it to begin with. By the end of it I hated it, which is why this video has taken so long for me to make. Again, these turned out well, but it filled me with more confidence to go on to do some stupidly confident things. So seeing as I'd fooled myself into thinking that I was a master of this technique, I went on to do something a lot more difficult. I tried to do it on fabric. I didn't really research it too much into how to do it. I just sort of blagged it and did use the same techniques I'd used for the paper. So there'll be better ways to do it than I did. But I just went with it and had a go. I had it in my head that I wanted to print a little neck scarf. I like wearing them and I've got quite a few. And I did do a really quick experiment, like really quick. And I was like, yep, that works, I'll carry on. So this is me fiddling with the placement of the pattern. That looked good. Later on, it all falls apart. But this bit this was still when I was delusionally confident. So I had some solution left over and I thought, why not do this lampshade? I've had this lampshade hanging around for months now and I had no idea what to do with it. So I thought, why not whack a load on there and see how this goes. This was what I was trying to put on there, the top third with the mountains and the house, and spoiler, it did not work. So this is how the scarf turned out. It wasn't bold enough for me. So I went in with some bleach, just to sharpen the lines and bring out the pattern a bit more. And it worked, and I really liked it at this point. Once I'd spent ages doing all these little flowers, little houses, I thought, yeah, it looks really good. Because it's got bleach on it, I shall chuck it in the machine. Don't do that, because everything washed off. I was left with a really, really washed out, kind of gross, yellowy, acidy green colour. You could hardly see anything, and I was so mad with myself that I didn't want to look at anything again. I didn't want to look at any part of this again. So I can't even show you it because I got rid of it. And I just never wanted to do it again. So please remember how my scarf looks like this. Imperfectly perfect. But I'm so annoyed. I was so happy with it. I just can't believe I made such a stupid mistake. So to annoy myself even further, this lampshade didn't work. I wasn't super confident about this, although I was confident about doing it, I wasn't too sure whether it would work, and it didn't. Surprise, surprise. So I took the fabric off. This is some tea bag paper that I've had hanging around for ages, and I thought I'll just draw what I want on there and stick it on. After the failure of the last two things I tried to do, and just the stupid mistakes I did, it was nice just to know that this was going to turn out fine. I knew exactly what I was doing, I knew the materials well, and yeah, this was just such a relief to do afterwards. Attaching the frames back to the paper was so fiddly, but once I found like a rhythm and a way of doing it, it stuck really well. It's still stuck together and it's still hanging up, so all's good. seeing this finished just made me so happy. It just sort of confirmed that actually I probably should just stick to drawing and leave all these weird and wonderful techniques to other people to master, and for me to just look at and think is pretty. Now please enjoy this footage of me struggling to put up my lampshade. Here's a finished result. It gives a really nice warm light. I don't have it on very often because I think it's in a stupid place. It's right next to the window, which doesn't really fill my room with light, but I'm really pleased with it. Also, these experiments, looking back at them, they're all really good. I was just really annoyed by the end of the whole experience that I never wanted to do it again. But looking at some of them, I think, yeah, I'll probably give it a go. Maybe I will take it slow rather than go full force all at once. But thank you for making it to the end. I hope you enjoyed the trials and tribulations of my Cyanotype adventure, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye!